What's up everyone, hope you guys are all having a great day today. So last week Metroid Dread finally came out, and despite what Blackbond said with the game going to be a quote-unquote flop, it's been doing pretty well. Now I'll be honest, I'm absolutely fucking addicted to this game. It is so fucking good. As you guys might know, in my other Metroid Dread video I made on Blackbond, I've never genuinely gotten into a Metroid game before. The most I've done was play about like 2 to 3 hours of Super Metroid when I still had Switch Online. But for the most part I heard they were just really good games, and I'm so happy to say that Dread is even better than I could have ever imagined. The exploration is just so fucking well done in this game, and it feels like you're always finding something new around every corner of this game. And as a huge fan of the exploration in the classic Resident Evil games, I live for this shit. So it's come to my attention that people are losing their shit over a Kotaku article and basically saying how Dread can be emulated on a PC even better than the Switch is able to do it. And people now think that a significant amount of people are pirating the game. And my thoughts are, is this really anything new? This has happened with so many other Nintendo games literally since the Switch came out. I know it happened with Luigi's Mansion 3, I know it happened with the new Paper Mario, Animal Crossing, Hyrule Warriors 2, and probably a shit ton of others that I'm missing. Hell, some of these games I remember hearing that they were able to be emulated before the fucking games even got released. So I don't understand why people are making such a giant ass deal out of this. Is it wrong for people to be pirating these games? Absolutely. I can 100% agree that at least with the Switch and Wii U games, especially the ones that have just come out, you shouldn't be pirating those games. Anything up until the Wii generation is perfectly fine to emulate, since Nintendo isn't even going to be making money from you buying those games anyway. But again, are the people who are pirating the Switch games a significant number? Absolutely fucking not. Look at the sales for some of the games I listed. Luigi's Mansion 3, almost 8 million units in 12 months. Hyrule Warriors 2, 3.7 million units in 5 months. Animal Crossing New Horizons, 33 fucking million units in a year and a half. All three of these games can be emulated on a PC, but at the same time, they're all the highest selling games in their respective series. When the last time a new entry in each of those games' series came out, it wasn't able to be emulated. So obviously not too many people really care about these games being able to be emulated. Are there people out there pirating Switch games? Obviously, but taking 2 seconds to Google the sales for those games being pirated, I highly doubt those people were gonna buy those games in the first place, nor are they even causing anything close to a dent in the sales of these games. So back to Blackbond. You guys might remember him from back in late June when he had a retard moment saying Metroid Dread was going to flop because Metroid Samus Returns, a remake of the game on a platform that was pretty much irrelevant at the time, sold like shit because Nintendo basically set it up for failure. Well, now he's back. And not only is he changing the argument of the game is going to flop, but he's also changing why he thinks the game is going to flop, which his reason now is, you guessed it, the people who play on PC and PlayStation. And the funniest part about all of this is that the game is fucking out already, and it very clearly did not flop. This is gonna be fun, so enough talking and let's see what YouTube has shout out today.
And then my most recent video 3 months ago will be Metroid Dread will be another sales flop. And people are upset about that. Let's see. 376 dislikes.
Yeah, and it's well fucking warranted, because you were saying that a game is going to flop because a previous game in that series was basically set up for failure and had flopped before, and you were just saying stupid shit all around in that video. And if that wasn't the case, then why are you making this video where you've now changed your argument from because Samus Returns now to slander and piracy?
For this video. And as you can see, I have the whole Metroid collection. The whole Metroid collection.
Congrats, you're a virgin. Do you want like a cookie or something?
AM2R, B, Samus Returns review. Top 10, we got it. The whole collection, Metroid, Zero Mission, Samus Returns, Super Metroid, Fusion, Prime.
And I've got a collection of the condoms of the dudes I've fucked. Does that now make me an expert on sex?
Echoes, Corruption, and yes, people, even the disgusting Other End. What can I say? I like Metroid. But the reason I said that Dread will be a flop is because there is no numerical number for what will be a flop or not.
Yes, there is. A flop would be a product that fails to make its money back from its budget. Games like Samus Returns, I don't even think made their money back, and that, by definition, is a flop. Metroid Dread has already broken records for the series not even a week after it came out.
It will be a flop if we do not get a sequel, or we have to wait an extended period of time for a sequel.
See, now he's changing the argument. Before, he was very heavily implying that the game would be a flop if it didn't sell at least 1 million units. And now, because that logic doesn't support his argument anymore, he's going back on it, saying if we don't get another 2D Metroid game in 2 years at most, it's a flop. When even Breath of the Wild, a game that has sold over 20 million units, hasn't gotten a sequel in that amount of time.
A guaranteed sequel to me would be 5 million. A sequel within 2 years is 5 million.
Well, that's funny, because here's the thing. A couple of games have passed 5 million units and still haven't gotten sequels come out, despite those games being more than 2 years old. Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, Splatoon 2, Mario Kart 8, Mario Maker 2. Luigi's Mansion 3 is about to be 2 years old at the end of the month. None of these games have had sequels come out for them. And if you're gonna revert to saying, well, I meant a sequel getting announced, even then, literally only 2 of those games have gotten sequels announced, when the best-selling Switch game, Mario Kart 8, hasn't even gotten a sequel announced yet. So by your logic, being a game is a flop if you don't get a sequel in 2 years, GTA 5 is a flop, Minecraft is a flop, Doom 2016 is a flop. Hell, even Metroid Prime 2 is a flop because Prime 3 took 3 years to come out after Metroid Prime 2.
It will be a flop if we do not get a sequel, or we have to wait an extended period of time for a sequel. 3 million copies will get us probably a sequel, but it will probably take us some time. Anything less than 3 million for this game is a failure.
Bro, what the actual fuck are you on? The best-selling Metroid game only sold 2.8 million units, and you're saying that Dread is a flop if it doesn't sell more than that? Jesus Christ. Which argument do you want to make? Is less than 3 million a flop, or is a sequel in more than 2 years a flop? Fucking pick one, it doesn't matter, they're both objectively wrong from the logic you put out.
And not a financial failure, but a failure in regards to Nintendo is not going to want to invest in this property again.
Well, they kept making Metroid games after Samus Returns, and before you go, well, you just said Samus Returns was set up for failure. Hey man, I'm just using your logic. If Samus Returns was enough of a flop to say that Dread was going to be a flop because of it, then it was enough of a success for Nintendo to make another 2D Metroid game.
For a long, long time, when they have other franchises that are selling 5, 10, 20, and yes, some of them are even selling 30 million.
Those are the games I'm looking to push. But they're seeing this franchise grow from 1 to 5. Hey, we might have something. We need to make more. That's what I'm looking for. 3 minimum, ideally 5. But I don't think we're gonna get there. Because all of a sudden, we have all these... I'm not gonna criticize Xbox fans. Imagine that, because they have not talked about this.
We have all these PlayStation fans talking about how a Metroid game that we've been waiting 19 years for isn't worth it.
And now he's strawmanning. Literally nobody in their right mind is saying that Dread is overpriced. And like you just said, it's literally only the Sony fanboys, which based on how they hype up dog shit like Days Gone and Returnal because they're PS exclusives, you should not be looking to those people for any form of a sensible argument.
How it is overpriced, how it's a ripoff. I'm thinking an 8-hour... Metroid games used to be 4 to 5 hours, possibly even 3. We're getting a 7 to 8 hour Metroid game. 2D, which is better than 3D. I don't care what anybody says.
Well, if you're gonna talk detail, 3D games are like objectively more detailed than 2D games from 3D games having to render an environment at every angle, but that's an argument that I don't even need to get into right now.
It is better. And people are calling it a ripoff.
Overpriced, overrated, talking down to what is going to be a Game of the Year contender. 88 on Metacritic. And yet these are the same people that paid $70 for Demon's Souls, hyping up a PlayStation 3 game with bad performance and new player counts or new cover page and graphical overhaul for $70. Demon's Souls is literally the same exact game as Demon's Souls on PlayStation 3, except for better graphics and better frame rate and a couple of trinkets here and there. But y'all have the nerve to talk about paying $60 for a game, keep on waiting 19 years for
Jesus Christ, it took him 3 fucking minutes to show how Sony fanboys were hypocrites with only one example. He repeated himself so many fucking times that I couldn't even count, not to mention the 10 seconds of dead silence. God damn, dude, pace your videos. No wonder you have 28k subscribers and your videos only get 2,000 to 4,000 views, and the only time you get over that count is when you talk about fucking Fratanga. God damn.
Y'all can't even get multiplayer games. Nintendo puts out better multiplayer games than PlayStation.
Well, no fucking shit.
Oh yeah, well it's not like Sony doesn't even focus on multiplayer games that much, and when they do, they're usually just a side thing to the actual game, which is the single player campaign. That's like going to fucking Rockstar and going, you make really bad platformers. No shit, cause they don't make platformers in the first place.
And that's a fact. What's Sony putting out for you on multiplayer front? Nothing. And y'all up here criticizing a $60 game when y'all paying $70 for some games that aren't even good, like Returnal, and you're paying $70 for games that are nothing but PS3 games updated.
Hey, remember that time when you hyped up fucking Days Gone? That was funny. Wasn't that funny? Let's go watch that right now.
We've got games like Horizon Zero Dawn, Spider-Man, God of War, Days Gone.
Days gone.
Chris? Stop it.
Wesker, you're pitiful.
And then let's talk about these PC losers.
This is where the fun begins.
Oh my god. Oh my god. This is exactly why I've distanced myself from the modern day PC gamer. The broke, faceless virgins of the internet.
Says the guy who is flexing how many Metroid games he has. Right.
Y'all talked all this crap about the Epic Game Store, about PlayStation, about Xbox, about how Epic has no features, and yet you support the Switch.
Well, here's the thing with the Epic Game Store to me. It's not that I don't use it because it has less features than Steam. In all honesty, I don't care. Achievements don't matter to me because I just don't care. Reviews don't matter to me because if I want to see reviews, I'll just look on Metacritic. And from my understanding, they both let you use a controller, which is the only extra feature in a launcher that I genuinely care about. Even the community stuff on Steam I really don't care about and would honestly much rather use Google for that community stuff. No. What bothers me about the Epic Store is how they pay developers to make games that they never made to have exclusivity. Now, I'm not talking about exclusivity in general. In general, it's totally fine. If you develop a game for your platform and you decide to make that game exclusive, go at it. My issue is with the bullshit timed exclusivity that both Sony and Epic pull. Cause just like how Sony does that shit, it's taking away options from the consumer rather than actually making the storefront better. For example, if they wanted to go the actual pro-consumer route, they could use the money they were going to spend on making games exclusive to have better sales on their stores than their competitors. I've got essentially the same problem with Switch Online. So like with the Epic Game Store, the lack of features on the Switch I really don't care about. I never used them in the first place when I had them on other consoles. I'm sure some people who you're describing exist, but like with the Sony fanboys, they're a very small and retarded minority. And even then, as much as I personally dislike the Epic Game Store, I don't care if people use it. I'm not gonna fucking tell people how they should and shouldn't spend their money because it's not my problem.
How Epic just put out achievements, and yet y'all still support the Switch and hate Epic. How y'all talk down on PlayStation and Xbox for being nothing but welfare computers. That's why you play the Switch, because the Switch provides you a different experience.
No, the reason I don't have a PS5 or an Xbox right now is because they're literally just junkier versions of my PC that can't be taken anywhere. At least with the Switch, I can take it wherever the fuck I want and I can play it in class. Hell, the only reason I use my Switch at all when compared to my other consoles is because I can play it in class and I can play it in my bed. That, and it has better games than my PS4, which I'm too lazy to emulate on my PC.
And then all of a sudden, of all the games you could choose to F up, pirate, emulate, and not paying support, you choose Metroid.
Hello, they do this with every fucking Switch game and it never stopped those games from being successful.
A game, I've said it probably 19 times already, but you choose a game we've been waiting 19 years for. You talk about supporting the developers, of supporting GOG, that you want to support developers that give to the gamers, and GOG doesn't have DRM and the freedom, and you want developers to respect their gaming audiences. And yet, Mercury, Steam, not even Nintendo, respected y'all enough to get on this project, to get your quality game, to put it out there, to take initiative when Nintendo didn't, when Nintendo couldn't. And how do you show respect for these people? You pirate their game.
Jesus Christ, he's acting like everyone who owns a PC is pirating the game, shown from how the game is still selling well. The piracy hasn't even caused a dent in their sales.
You advocate for stealing their game. You go on your diatribe and your hill of emulation.
Next to nobody has been advocating for people to pirate Metroid, and the only people that have been advocating for that have gotten ratioed to hell and back.
And yet at the same time, your argument on the PlayStation has always been, oh, they always make cookie-cutter third-person action-adventure games. They
I mean, is that really wrong? You were literally just saying how Returnal was dog shit.
never try anything new. They never do anything different. They never step outside the box. And then when Nintendo does it, you don't even support it.
Yeah, God forbid people just aren't interested in a game. Fuck those people.
You want to steal it, you want to pirate it, you want to emulate it. Can't y'all like do that to Madden or 2K or something?
They do. This happens with every fucking game that gets released on Switch.
Why y'all gonna do that to a game like this, for real? And that's exactly why y'all PlayStation fanboys and y'all PC fanboys need to shut the hell up forever. I'm tired of y'all. In just 1 week, the PlayStation fans have leapfrogged the Xbox fans as worst fanboys on the internet.
They've been like that for a long ass time. You clearly have not been on Twitter.
And clearly the PC gamers, as of late, that's why I don't even associate with them, are the worst people online.
Yeah, if you play on PC, you're just the lowest of the low. Hell, you even have Steam downloaded, you're going straight to hell. You're basically Hitler to the gaming community. In Minecraft is Mein Kampf.
They've been the worst people online. If somebody wasn't gaming on VGA, if they never gamed on VGA as a PC gamer, you don't even need to talk to them.
Yeah, fuck these Zoomers. They don't even know what it was like to have a coat hanger abortion.
They're beyond hope. They're gone. So, I made this video calling it a sales flop, hoping it wasn't going to be a sales flop, hoping people would prove me wrong. But honestly, it's not looking that way.
Cause you changed your fucking argument and are now blaming things on PC and PlayStation players.
Because we got a bunch of PlayStation fans trying to downgrade it, and we got a bunch of PC fans who love to prop the Switch up over the other consoles, but when push comes to shove, their broke asses don't want to put their money where their mouths are.
Again, God forbid people don't want to buy a game.
I'm Blackbond. I'll catch you guys next time.
This man really cannot take any sort of criticism whatsoever. Jesus Christ. Anyways, please just fucking reward me for my suffering by hitting the like and subscribe button so I can start getting paid for this shit and buy, I don't know, a pair of strap-on tits or something. Seriously though, consider subscribing, please, and I hope you all have a great day.
You guys are so cringe and sad.